Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel and editorial discussion for 11th May 2022. My name is Harsh Singh, and in this video we shall discuss an editorial from today's Indian Express which is titled Stable Population Unmet Need. This editorial and many other editorials speak about the data on National Family Health Survey, more so specifically on the fertility indicators, which are very much in news. And in this discussion, we will understand such relevant data. We will also understand what are the determinants of fertility in the country. We will also understand what are the issues in the fertility and family planning in the country. Important editorial discussion. If you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments, and shares. Let's discuss. The editorial begins by saying that India has seen a remarkable drop in the fertility ratio in the country, national average being 2.0 from the last time this National Family Health Survey was conducted, which had 2.2 of the total fertility ratio in the country. India has had 5 levels of National Family Health Survey, an extensive survey getting surveyed throughout the whole country for understanding the fertility, the infant mortality ratio, reproductive health, nutrition, and family planning. We will understand quite a bit about each of this. And this survey having been conducted in the year 1992, 1998, 2005, 2015, and the last one between the period 2019 and 21. So the first time this survey was conducted in 1992, that time India's average total fertility ratio in the country was 3.4. And now we have dropped down to 2.0 right now. Now, if you see, this number is below the replacement ratio, below the ratio at which the population replaces itself. So the editorial says that after a couple of decades, we will see a drop in India's population as well. If you see the chart on the right, you need not read it completely because I will provide the important indicators here. The chart talks about the total decline or increase in the fertility ratio amongst all the states. Here, Sikkim is the state which has got the least fertility ratio at 1.1, and Bihar having the highest of total fertility ratio at 3. So Bihar at 3 right now, and all these states, specific states, have seen a decline 3.4 to 3, and Sikkim having declined from 1.2 to 1.1, the least total fertility ratio in the country. But there are two states, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, which have seen a very marginal rise in the total fertility ratio, where you see Tamil Nadu rising from 1.7 to 1.8, and the other state being Kerala, which has seen a marginal rise from 1.6 to 1.8. All right, so these are important things that you could be asked in the prelim examination. The national average being 2.0, there are 5 states which are above the total fertility ratio of national average, which are Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Manipur, and Meghalaya. There were other 2 states, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, which were a part of the aspirational district, the states which were very aspiring, Bimaru states, Bimaru, where you see Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Bihar. The erstwhile Bihar, erstwhile Madhya Pradesh, and erstwhile Uttar Pradesh, which were undivided. And amidst this, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh have climbed up this ladder, and they have also reduced their total fertility ratio to 2.0. Right? So this is the important indicator here. Now, what WHO does is that the way it defines total fertility ratio is this. It says that in the childbearing years of women, childbearing years will be between 15 to 49. In these years, the average number of children that a woman is supposed to produce in the cohort, a group, a particular group, this is the total fertility ratio. Now, what they do and how it is calculated is they divide this particular age group, 15 to 49, in 7 age brackets of 5 years each. So 15 to 20 will be the first bracket, 20 to 25 will be the second bracket, and so on and so forth. They go up to the age 45 to 49. And these are 7 different cohorts. If you calculate, you will find out that there are 7 different groups of this. And the average is calculated for each group. And this is how the total fertility ratio for the whole country is calculated. The fertility ratio in different age groups is also different. It depends on various factors. For example, the literacy of the family levels, the family background, the income, etc. Right? Now, this survey was calculated with the help of 7 lakh plus women and 1 lakh plus men. And that's how the survey, mass level survey, was found out. This data was found. Now, if you see the fertility behavior opposite to what people perceive, generally populist measures say that it is community, it is religion which is determining the fertility behavior. The real reasons are literacy levels, income generation, and the possible presence of wealth in the family, the availability of family health planning services, and these are called as the needs which are yet to be met by many major chunk of the population. There is a desire to have children, and these are important indicators for a family to grow or not grow. And teenage pregnancy, violence, and unrest, United Nations itself has said these are the determinants of female pregnancy, and are determinants of family planning. Now, for an example, if you see in this particular graph, the women who have not done any schooling, the average age at which they produce the first child is 20 years. And a woman who has done 12 years of education or more, her first child is at the average age of 25. This is the kind of gap we are looking at if there is no literacy or availability of literacy in the family, especially women literacy. So if there are people who are saying that if we increase the age of marriage, then possibly the childbearing will be less at the younger age. No, this the reality is this, that it is the childbearing at younger age is dependent on education of the female, education of the mother. Similarly, if you look at the income generation capabilities, if these are five different cohorts in which the society has been divided, and the lowest income generation cohort has total fertility ratio of 2.6. This is complete one unit more than the richest cohort. You can imagine that money in the family also is a determinant of having children or not. Similarly, when you look at urban and rural areas, see the total fertility ratio in the country is 2, but in rural India it is 2.1, and in urban India it is 1.6. This difference could be due to the presence of family planning services, hospitals, awareness, right? These are something which are less available in rural areas. Yes, we have seen a decline in rural replacement rates as rural fertility rates as well, but then the proportion decline is less because of the shortage of availability, the unmet needs amongst the population. There is also desire to have children. See, one-fourth married women in the age 15 to 49 want to have another child. What can you do? Teenage pregnancy is another issue. That let me show you some graphs. Violence and unrest in society. Whenever there is more violence in society, African societies or other places, we would naturally see that women are not in control. It is the man in the family who controls, and yet there will be forced sex, and there will be more children in the family. These are notings of United Nations, not as a part of family survey report, but then providing out of the past editorials. If you see the age at the first birth of the woman, the age at first birth average is 21 years, 21 years, and teenage childbearing is also there in the country. So these are the states which have more prevalence of childbearing in the teenage years. You would see states in the east and northeast have such a presence. Along with that, if you note a particular thing here, the average gap between the two children that we have in the country is around 24 to 35 months, that is 2 to 3 years. Okay, moving ahead quickly to the next part, that is the fertility rate indicators. See, the community wise, Muslims have fertility rate indicators, that is the total fertility ratio at 2.3, Hindu has almost 2, Christians at 1.9, Sikh 1.6, Jain 1.6, and Buddhist community at 1.4. Now, contrary to the popular belief that this is what the editorial says, written by the ex-chief election commissioner S.Y. Qureshi, the editorial says that contrary to the belief that Muslim community contributes maximum to the population increase, thus this community itself has seen the maximum decline in the 5 surveys that has been conducted by the country. So dropping from 4.4 of the total fertility ratio in 92 to the levels of 2.3. Imagine this 47% drop. And one large contributor to this is the middle income group. The middle income group, which is rising in Muslim population, they are educating girls and empowering girls, and because of this, there is a drop in the fertility ratio. So this is an important thing. The determinants of fertility are not community, but more are features like the literacy, income generation in the family, health services, and the unmet needs which must be met in the family. So very important from the perspective of society, social issues. And and it is also an onus on female. Imagine this, despite awareness among the community, research has suggested this, despite awareness of 99% of the population, men have clearly said that the onus of birth control lies with the female. It is their prerogative. They must use contraceptives or birth control measures. Female tuberculosis must be conducted, even despite the male operations are simpler procedures, and sterilization as well. So this female onus is the one which leads to males evading their own responsibilities here. This is a part of the survey itself. Now, one good thing is the institutional births in the country, they have increased. So overall institutional births in the country are 89% now, with 87% in rural areas and 94 in the urban. And there are two states, Kerala having the highest level of institutional birth, 100% institutional birth, Nagaland having least institutional birth, 46%. And if you look at the mortality rate of children, the neonatal mortality rate up to 28 days or 4 weeks of childbirth, this is 25. IMR, in infant mortality rate up to 1 year, 35 number of children dying per 1000 of the childbirths, and child mortality up to the age of 5, 42 children dying out of 1000 children being born, so up to 5 years of age. So 25, 35, 42 important indicators. And when you see the child mortality, it includes the neonatal and the infant mortality rate. That means more than half of the children, they die in their first 28 days itself. All right, so important indicators. Now, a quick understanding about some other indicators as well. 96% of household use an improved source of drinking water. Great sign, Jal Jeevan Mission. 19% of households have no sanitation facility. So, what about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan here? Questions on that. 95% of rural households have electricity, decent development. 60% of households use clean fuel for cooking. Okay, very good. Mission for direct benefit transfer and LPG provision for people. 90% household population have Aadhaar card. Okay, provision of services for people. 5% are orphans among children under 18 years of age. All right, child protection services. 38% of men use under age of 15 and over use tobacco products. So huge population and a major chunk using eating tobacco rather than smoking tobacco. 1% of women and 19% of men age 15 above drink alcohol. So important data here available with the help of National Family Health Survey. All right. A quick question to you all. Mention 5 issues related to family planning in India. Give examples as well. Issues can be presented in the form of the important indicators or determinants of family planning which are not available in India, or the miscommunicated beliefs like community is responsible, a specific community is responsible for the growth of population. So if you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments, and shares. And if you have some questions, put it down in the comment section. We will ensure to get back to you. Thank you for watching.